Charles Starkweather and Caril Ann Fugate were only teens when they embarked on a murderous journey that terrified the nation. Charles Starkweather was a 19-year-old high school dropout with an IQ 4 points below the normal range. He was described as tough and provocative. Caril Fugate was 13 years old when she first met Starkweather, according to the Lincoln Journal-Star. The two became a couple, and the crimes that terrified Nebraska and Wyoming would follow soon after. Starkweather had already committed a murder on December 1, 1957, when he killed gas station attendant Robert Calvert in Lincoln, Nebraska. Fugate found herself involved in Starkweather's bloodlust in 1958, when she arrived home and found that Starkweather had killed her mother, stepfather, and 2-year-old sister on January 21. The two disposed of the bodies and stayed in the Lincoln home for several days. The bodies would later be found by police in bizarre places. Marion Bartlett, Fugate's stepdad, was stuffed in their chicken coop. Velda Bartlett, her mother, was hidden in the outhouse, and baby Betty Jean Bartlett was near her mother, stashed in a cardboard box. After neighbors became suspicious, Starkweather and Fugate abandoned the home and set out on a violent odyssey. The teenagers' first murder, as a couple on the run, took place in the small town of Bennett. Starkweather killed 70-year-old August Meyer at his own home on January 27. Starkweather shot him and beat Meyer's dog to death. Meyer was a Fugate family friend. That same evening, Starkweather fatally shot a teenage couple, Robert Jensen and Carol King, after they offered Starkweather and Fugate a ride. Starkweather allegedly tried to rape King before ending her life in a rage. They then stole the car their victims were driving and returned to Lincoln the following day for their next home invasion, the house of C. Lower Ward, former president of the Capitol Bridge Company, and the Capitol Steel Company. Ward's housekeeper, Lillian Finkel, let the murderous couple into the Ward house while Ward was out at work. Ward's wife, Clara, and Finkel was stabbed to death, and when Ward came home later that night, he was shot in the head. Starkweather and Fugate then fled to Wyoming on January 29, killing 37-year-old Merle Collison, a Great Falls shoe salesman who was parked alongside a road near Douglas to take a nap. Collison's body was stashed under the dashboard of his own vehicle. The murder of Merle Collison would be their last. Just when Starkweather and Fugate were about to continue their road trip, a man approached the car, thinking the couple needed help. The driver noticed Collison's corpse, and that's when Starkweather's reign of terror reached its end. He and the stranger fought, and a deputy sheriff spotted the altercation. After an intense police chase, including a roadblock and gunfight, Starkweather surrendered. Fugate was left behind during the chase. Starkweather was only tried for the murder of Robert Jensen, although notes from a Nebraska deputy sheriff outlined in great detail the other murders he is widely understood to have committed. He was sentenced to death, dying in the electric chair at the Nebraska State Penitentiary in June 1959. Fugate, who was 15 by the time her boyfriend died, was sentenced to life in prison for her involvement in the barbaric spree. She was paroled in 1976 after serving 18 years. Fugate has since married and moved to Ohio, continuing to claim she was innocent and a hostage of the dangerous Starkweather. At the time, she was the youngest female to be convicted of first-degree murder in the United States, and her link to Starkweather, as an accomplice, is a legacy she reportedly loathes. 2 members of the Nebraska Board of Pardons defended their denial of a pardon for the girlfriend of mass killer Charles Starkweather, saying that Caril Ann Fugate's request was without merit and beyond the scope of what a pardon accomplishes.